at this point, I think we're ready to start. And welcome, folks. Welcome to our afternoon transmission. I'm vk3sl, and you've been listening to a selection of medieval music. And for a particular purpose, because it's presently we have the Wren Festival, and three of my offspring and Io are all attending a medieval festival in Yarra Valley. But it's really
very exciting.
Oh, it's very special. And the whole thing was booked out within minutes. There's so much interest. And apparently these Wren Fests happen all over the state or all over the world. And this is the very first one in Melbourne. So there was a lot of interest. And they have things like medieval jousting and poetry readings, and everyone's sort of dressed up in medieval gear, attire.
Pardon my ignorance, but Wren. Tell me about Wren.
I don't know. I was wondering that myself. Okay. In fact, I just went and got some clarification on the name of the festival. But yes, it's called the Wren Festival, probably because sort of birds and nature and stuff like that. So, yeah, but they're not back. They won't be back for a while. They left this morning and they are dolled up. My goodness me. They spent hours on their costumes. Celia's been making hers all week. And they really did look amazing. And it was we had a big photo shoot this morning. They were all out there, and they took 2 full films of them.
Oh, that's very exciting.
Yeah.
How long does it go?
Oh, it's a 2-day festival, and so yesterday it would have been perfect, but today, of course, we've had pretty variable weather. But you know, that's the way.
It's outdoor, is it?
Yes, it's outdoor. It's at a race course in Yarra Valley somewhere.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, everyone's there dressing up and play acting and cosplaying and all the things that
camping overnight.
Well, I think they'll come back late tonight, but yeah, it does finish this afternoon. But yeah, so it's.
But last night.
Oh no, they didn't go last night.
Oh,
no,
okay.
they just went for the day. Yeah,
I understand.
Yeah, so. Yeah, it's a bit of fun. So yeah, they're all into the imaginative worlds and things like that. So it sort of fulfills that fantasy realm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So and look, a really warm hello to Mr. Clint, Mr. CSJ, and he's been giving me some signal reports, and apparently we're getting into the Shepparton SDR really well.
That's wonderful.
So,
good evening, Clint. Good to hear you.
Yeah.
Good to talk to you anyway after a long time.
Indeed. It's been a long time since between drinks. I haven't spoken to Clint for such a long time. It's lovely to hear from you, Clint. Thank you so much for reaching out. And I don't look at Facebook that often, but I've now sort of got that messenger app on my phone so I can check in. So thank you. And I do sometimes listen in the Fridays, but I tend to...
No, it hasn't been on for quite a while.
Oh, okay. It's been a while for me because I have to resource myself for our late night program, and I usually have a snooze and I miss it. So yeah, sorry, but I know, it's a time-honored tradition.
Yeah, a lot of us miss it, Clint. I know you have the difficulties that exist, but certainly used to enjoy it a lot.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, look, everything has its season, and it's not important to have breathing space and do what you need to do.
Of course, we have to do that.
We all do. Yeah, anyhow, it's lovely to hear from you, Clint. So best wishes, and we'll
from me.
Catch up. Yeah, definitely. Next Hamfest, yes, we should have a good old chin wag. There's lots to catch up on. And I'm sorry.
Is it Moorabbin? Have they had Moorabbin?
Oh, I missed Moorabbin.
Oh, you missed it.
I missed it. It came up on my diary. Too late. I think I got the week wrong or something, but I try and flag these things. I did miss it. So, yeah, I rely on these Hamfests because that's my main sort of catch-up opportunity with the fraternity. Yeah, I don't really get to speak to anyone else. I don't really do much else on air. I come up on Saturday mornings anymore. I can't. No. It's just too busy at the coalface. But if
no one Saturday mornings has fallen over, really.
Oh, has it really? Okay.
Yeah, shame.
Yeah, fair enough. Look, it's difficult to sustain these things. There's a lot of activity, of course, during the week. So, people need a break. Yeah, anyhow. But I will try and initiate something on Saturday one day when I get my life back. But, yeah, it's been a... I thought we'd sort of pick up on the Renfest vibe because I've got
vibe, isn't it?
It is a good vibe. There's so many sort of medieval and nostalgia reference, and of course we've got
wonderful sound.
We do, and of course there's the Baroque pop realm. So we can
much so.
Yeah, we can exploit a bit of Jethro Tull maybe. See what it is.
Yeah, they do that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And Ian Anderson on the flute.
Yeah, totally. It's great. So we'll play a bit, but I thought I'd find something sort of nostalgic and appropriate to kick off. And for our 20s hit today, we're going to hear some Celtic music. And
well, that's not a million miles from it, is
no,
it? I mean,
that's right, exactly. So
it is quite, if there is a particular country involved or a particular, I think Celtic sort of gets closest to it, the harp and all that sort of stuff.
yes, I agree. I think so. I think it's sort of the whole sort of meter and the vibe.
Almost the wellspring, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. You're right. There's no doubt about that. Yeah. So, but I think it might be more Cajun than Celtic. But that's okay.
Oh yeah, sure.
We'll give it a well-rounded sort of
Close cousins.
Yes, close cousins. And anyhow, this was recorded in the 20s, and I'll give you the background to it once we've heard it, because I haven't got the file in front of me, but I have got it queued, ready to go. So it's here, a real de Gaspel, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Isidore Saucy is the name of the violinist, apparently. Okay.
I love it.
It's good fun. Yeah.
I love that.
Yes.
It's lovely sort of French New Orleans.
Yes, it is. It's
Creole
Cajun.
music.
It's Cajun music. Yes.
Cajun, but it's a type of Creole.
Yes, indeed. It is. Absolutely. It's far more from that heritage than it is from Celtic. Sorry about the false allure there.
No.
I'm trying to sort of clutch straws to find a common theme. But I loved it. It was great. Yeah, a guy called Isidore Saucy, Soucy. Susi, yeah. And sort of apparently a big name Cajun fiddle player from Quebec, and made a few similar.
It's French though, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, I think so. So it goes back to the 1920s, and it's our 20s hit. But
they're still alive and well, the Cajun.
Oh, yeah.
Lot.
It's huge. It's a huge sort of genre, really.
Great dancing stuff.
Yeah, it is. I think there's going to be a lot of dancing at this festival, apparently.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, apparently they prepared themselves. We've been hearing medieval music in the house all week while everyone's been making their costumes. It's been my mob take these sort of things very seriously, and they've been making costumes and dancing and preparing for it, and the excitement this morning was just palpable. They all sort of saw it as the most important day of the year. So
that is a marvellous thing, Steve.
Yeah, it's just fun, It's just
great thing
why
to
not?
do at a certain age.
Yeah, totally it is. And look, I'll go along next year, I think.
Yeah, I mean, when I say a certain age, it's not limited to it.
Yes.
But there's an age at which your interest in it peaks.
Yeah, totally.
It's under 20.
Yeah, it is. And next year I'll go along and bring my medieval cameras with me. So, yes, it's fun. So, there we go. So, I thought this is an opportunity to play some Tina Lawton. Tina Lawton, the folk singer, Australian. I think she's Adelaide born. It's a sad story because she lost her life. She was involved in a plane crash when she was in her early 20s, just after she made a couple of albums. She died in about 1968, I think.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, in South Africa. Yeah, in a small plane accident. Terribly sad because she was right at the point where her career was blossoming. And she's got a gorgeous voice, and she embraces that genre with a lovely sort of innocent vibe. And just, I really like her sort of directness and honesty. It's just, she's a beautiful singer, and she would have been another Judith Durham or something. She would have been another folk luminary if she'd lived on. But Tina Lawton made about 3 albums in the mid-60s, and I'll play now a track called The Cuckoo Song.
Cuckoo dear, why art thou winging? Bow-de-da-de-doo-doo-de-di-ti-to. Hear the oar, the head is singing. Bow-de-da-de-doo-doo-de-di-ti-to. To-do-gently ere the morrow. Bow-de-da-de-doo-doo-de-ri-ti-to. When thy way and soothe my sorrow. Bow-de-da-de-doo-doo-de-di-ti-to. Cuckoo dear, go thou unheeding. Bow-de-da-de-doo-doo-de-di-ti-to. O'er the river winding speeding. Bow-de-da-de-doo-doo-de-di-ti-to. Stay a while to sing and hover. Bow-de-da-de-doo-doo-de-ri-ti-to. O'er the dwelling of my lover. Bow-de-da-de-doo-doo-de-di-ti-to. Cuckoo dear, when watch they're keeping. Bow-de-da-de-doo-doo-de-di-ti-to. If thou seest someone weeping. Bow-de-da-de-doo-doo-de-di-ti-to. Sing away those April showers. Bow-de-da-de-doo-doo-de-ri-ti-to. Sing of May and summer flowers. Bow-de-da-de-doo-doo-de-di-ti-to.
Tina Lawton there.
Lovely.
Isn't she beautiful?
Yeah.
Such a freshness and just openness. I love her delivery, and I love her sort of just innocence. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's just marvellous. I'll play one more of hers. Another bird song. Seems like bird song, hence the Renfest, I suppose. There's a lot of bird songs on her playlist. But I commend her, folks. You can go and look her up. There's a number, I think she made 3 albums in a very short time, and then but before she met her demise. But look, here we go. The birds courting song. This is delightful.
I said the blackbird sitting on a chair. Once I caught a lady fair. She proved fickle and turned her back, and ever since then I've dressed in black. Toddle-addle-diddle-do-dum, toddle-addle-diddle-do-day, toddle-addle-diddle-do-dum, toddle-addle-diddle-do-day. I said the little morning dove, I'll tell you how to regain her love. Court her night and court her day, and never give her time to say nay, nay. Toddle-addle-diddle-do-dum, toddle-addle-diddle-do-day, toddle-addle-diddle-do-dum, toddle-addle-diddle-do-day. I said the little leather-winged bat, I will tell you the reason that I fly by nights, because I've lost my heart's delight. Toddle-addle-diddle-do-dum, Toddle diddle do day, toddle toddle diddle do dum, toddle diddle do day. I said the blue jay as she flew, if I was a young man I'd have who, but one proved fickle and chanced to go, I'd have a new string to tie my bow. Toddle toddle diddle do dum, toddle toddle diddle do day, toddle toddle diddle do dum, toddle diddle do day. I said the woodpecker sitting on a fence, once I caught a handsome wench, she got scared and from me fled, and ever since then my head been red. Toddle-oddle diddle-do-dum, toddle-oddle diddle-do-day, toddle-oddle diddle-do-dum, toddle-oddle diddle-do-day, toddle-oddle diddle-do-dum, toddle-oddle diddle-do-day, toddle-oddle diddle-do-dum, toddle-oddle diddle-do-day.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, it's just beautiful. I love it. No, I think she's just got a spirit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good song.
Tina Lawton.
Give her time to say nay, nay.
Yeah, I know. It's beguiling.
She is.
Yeah, I'm a little bit in love, Frank. Yes. Okay. Well, look, let's move on, and I'll play a recording that everyone will know, and I'll probably get a bit of a copyright nudge for this, but hopefully it won't send me down under.
No.
Well, it should be all right, hopefully. But this is a well-known tune, which I won't even announce it because everyone has heard this multiple times, but it really fits the bill, and I love its ethereal quality.
Oh, yeah.
Are you going to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Remember me to one who lives there. She once was a true love of mine. Tell her to make me a cambric shirt, a deep forest green, parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme, sparrow and snow-crested brown, without no seam nor needs, and echoes the child of romance. She'll be a true love of mine. Aware of a cloudy and calm. Tell her to find me as a girl, a sprinkling of leaves, parsley, sage, rosemary, and Tasha's the bright solitude between the salt water and sunset strands and polishes of pen. She'll be a true love of mine. Tell her to reap it in a sickle, billows blazing in scarlet battalion, parsley, sage, rosemary, and geraniums, born in the seasons to kill, and gather it all at the bunch of embers they long ago forgotten. She'll be a true love of mine. Are you going to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Remember me to one who lives there. She once was a true love of mine.
Classic. We've all heard it and we all feel drawn into that beautiful intimacy. There's something sort of very close. And that Dorian mode version of it is actually fairly recent. I was looking up the history of this, and there's actually a very good sort of analysis of the many versions and the origins of this song. I think it was originally called the Elfin Knight.
Oh, really?
And and there's even cylinder recordings of folk melodies from which it derives.
Oh.
And I'll see if I'm going to check on it. There's actually an anthology performance online, which I'll put at the end. I might play it at the end of the program, and but I'm not sure if it has any dialogue with it. I think it might just present a whole lot of different versions of the song in its various incarnations. But so we may follow on with that. But if it hasn't got any dialogue, people just have to use their imaginations to connect the dots. But there is a version that I think the one that inspired Simon and Garfunkel was this recording of Ewan McCall from from I think the late 50s, mid to late 50s thereabouts. So this is probably a slightly more authentic version, but it certainly has a direct sort of folkish element. So let's have a listen to that now.
Are you going to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Remember me to one that lives there. For once she was a true love of mine. Tell her to make me a cambric shirt. Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme, without any seam or needlework, and then she'll be a true love of mine. Tell her to wash it in yonder dry well. Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme, where water ne'er sprung nor drop of rain fell, and then she'll be a true love of mine. Tell her to dry it on yonder thorn. Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme, which never bore blossom since Adam was born. And then she'll be a true love of mine. Oh, will you find me an acre of land? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme, between the sea foam and the sea sand. Oh, never be a true lover of mine. Oh, will you plough it with a lamb's horn? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme, and sow it all over with one peppercorn. Oh, never be a true lover of mine. Oh, will you reap it with a sickle of leather? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme, and tie it all up with a peacock's feather. Oh, never be a true lover of mine. And when you have done and finished your work, parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme, then come to me for your cambric shirt, and you shall be a true love of mine.
Yeah, Ewan McCall and his take on Scarborough Fair.
Very nice.
Yeah, I loved it. Sort of.
Really like Ewan McCall.
Yeah, I really like the way he sort of stretches the phrases and changes the meter. And
Excellent.
It's more phrase driven rather than
that's
metric.
right. It's not the words drive the rhythm, don't
Exactly, they do, and that's very much the course for early music. It was written that way, that the rhythm wasn't sort of it worked in strict sense of meter as we understand it. It was often just in phraseology, and you look at those early scores or the very, very early written monastic music is the sort of plain chant and stuff like that.
The lady something of Bingham.
Oh yes, Hildegard of Bingham.
Hildegard, thank you.
Yes. A lot of that music is just written in phrases.
Yeah.
It's sort of melismatic phrases. Yeah. And so music has a particular shape, and they just give you the pitch relationships, and then you find your own sort of natural speech rhythms to sort of embellish it. And I think this sort of you and McCall sort of picked up a bit on that, I thought. Yeah.
Very, very nicely.
Yeah, interesting that the tune is the same as the Elfin Night, and apparently the lyrics are very similar. But I haven't got enough information to be able to flesh out this topic completely, so I'll leave it for the anthology, which I'll play at the end. So that can sort of be a little bit of a let it run its course. But there is apparently musicological recordings made on cylinders in the early days of the century, just capturing the folk traditions before they died. So there was a number of really important sort of expeditions, and this particular song was captured by a guy called Dr. James Madison Carpenter. And I know that in America, our friend Mr.
Lomax?
Yes, Lomax, yes. Alan Lomax was doing similar things a bit later on, a generation later. Percy Grainger made many, many cylinders while on the move in Northern Europe. And
he was a great musicologist himself.
Yes, he did.
Percy?
Yep. In fact, Mr. L had one of his early jobs transferring cylinders was to try and preserve the Grainger collection of cylinders.
To equalise them and stuff like that.
Yeah, or just to sort of capture them. But they'd been dubbed off in the 30s, apparently, and onto disc, onto acetates, rather crudely. And then there was an attempt made, and Chris was very involved with this to sort of get an up-to-date transfer, but a lot of the cylinders apparently had deteriorated markedly.
What a shame.
Yeah, it's such a fragile format, wax cylinder and home recordings, and
of course.
But Grainger went out in the field and recorded a lot of just people singing folk songs the way they knew it, passed on through oral tradition. It's quite remarkable. And of course others like Zoltan Kodály and Béla Bartók did the same thing throughout Europe, preserving their heritage. So there are a number of really important figures who did it for their own resources to sort of embody and empower their own compositional
they certainly employed it, didn't Bartók?
Yes, well, absolutely. And Bartók, it became his language, and the meter and the sort of the nuances of that sort of conversational type of singing became the and storytelling became sort of the essence of his compositions, and same with Kodály, very much so, and Grainger too. So these composers had numerous motives: one to preserve the heritage, but also to embolden their own compositions. So it's a fascinating subject, and I think. We get that sort of connection. Vaughan Williams, another person who really embraced folk song.
Yeah.
What's that wonderful Vaughan Williams? Vaughan Williams, Saturday Comes Sunday or something. What's the name?
17 Comes Sunday.
17 Comes Sunday. It's such it's such a great tune.
It used to be the theme for one of the school's broadcasts.
Oh, really?
It is, yes.
I remember singing it in the choir when I was young, and it was so much fun. It was just a great tune.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and so let's see if we can find 17 Comes Sunday. I'm just looking it up now. We can play it. Bear with me because I'm sort of really working on the fly here. 17 Come Sunday, Vaughan Williams. So this is sort of an example of synthesizing folk song and giving it a sort of stylized presentation under the guise of a composer. Of course, hearing the original is very, very powerful, but it's also marvelous that people felt so directly inspired by this source material as well. So here we go, 17 Come Sunday, another British folk song as reimagined by Ralph Vaughan Williams. Yeah, it's fabulous. Wonderful arrangement by Vaughan Williams. It's very spirited.
Yeah.
And Granger, of course, embraced the same tune, and he had his choral version, which is marvellous too in its own way. I will go backwards because I have found an early version too by a Norfolk farm worker, and I'd love to play that. But before doing that, I'll play the Granger version, and we'll just work backwards a little bit and just hear how it sort of. From where it derives. But let's start with the Granger because this choral version is also magnificent. 17 Come Sunday by folk tune, as arranged by Percy Granger. It says tune and words taken down from the singing by Frank Atkinson.
As I rose up one May morning so early, I overtook a pretty fair maid just as the sun was dawning. With me blue rum rain for the little day, what far there did I go? Her stockings white and her boots were bright and her buckling shone like silver. She had a dark and a rolling eye and a heron on her shoulder. With me blue rum rain for the little day, what far there did I go? Where are you going, my pretty fair maid? Where are you going, my honey? She answered me right cheerfully, I'm an errand forming clown. You bring me blue rum rain for the little day, what far there did I go? How old are you?
It's an arrangement by Percy Granger of the folk song I'm
Never heard
17.
that.
Yeah, that's the version I sang in with a choir years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was that version. Yeah. It's interesting. It says here at Tune and Words, this is the title page from Granger. This is from the original score. It says Tune and Words taken down from the singing of Mr. Fred Atkinson. How about that?
About that.
Now, I've also established that the Percy Granger archive of ethnographic wax cylinders is supposedly in the public domain, and I found this page and enthusiastically clicked on the link, and it's a blind link, so it's not a link that we can exploit, unfortunately.
Oh.
So, yeah, it's a dead link, so we'll have to... we'll have to sort of come back to that. I'm sure it's out there somewhere. There'll be a way and access. I'd love to just devote an evening program. I mean, if people are prepared to indulge with wax cylinders on the air and listen to some of this ethnomusicological stuff, because I think it's really significant and very important.
Would
And
it be in the sound archive?
it would. I think it's there. It's somewhere. It just needs deeper digging. And
It'd be preserved. I mean,
it's definitely preserved. But all this material apparently was is in the public domain. So
Yeah.
it'd be great to be able to sort of just hear things, sample it, and just sort of get a feel for that those recordings made about 130 years ago almost. Amazing, really.
there's no reason why the sound archive shouldn't put a whole lot of stuff up on the web, is there?
Yeah, I don't know. I know
Maybe there is. I'm
no, there's
speaking
not
totally
as
in
much
the
as
dark.
there's not as much as there should be, I don't think. And there's I think in America they have sort of broader community copyright sort of parameters.
Oh, okay.
But here in Australia we're sort of a bit stuck, and it's under partly a British thing, and I know that this has been a huge issue for the likes of Mr. L and others who have been pushing for a long, long time to free up material, because
sure.
so much Australian heritage is just locked, and it really looks like cultural gatekeepers at bay. That's how it appears.
I mean, they're there to do this sort of thing.
Yeah, public servants. I mean, this is this is for the betterment of our sort of understanding of our heritage and stuff. But there's so little Australian stuff out there, really, from formal institutions. It's ridiculous.
Yes.
And it's the domain of people like Jamie and big collectors like Jamie and others who've sort of done the extra mile and forwarded material and made it available. So yeah, we're sort of in a bit of it's a difficult one, really. So Australia's material is not that well known, but who would think that cylinders made 130 years ago would constitute copyright with folk music? So I imagine that material is there, and those anthologies would be available. So it's something to research and to uncover, so we can have a listen and then educate.
That's right.
But I found an interesting performance, though, a film made in the 1940s, and it says here, 17 Come Sunday, performed by a Norfolk farm worker, Harry Cox. And this guy looks like he's in his 80s, and this would have been recorded in the 1950s or 40s. So, this would be probably, reasonably authentic. So we'll get the vibe anyhow, as the song was. And, this is from a video archive from Britain. I might just go back to the start.
As I walked out one May morning so early, I overtook a fair young maid just as the day was dawning, with my Durham and a falla-riddle-I-oh. Her shoes were black, her stockings white, and her buckles shone like silver. She had a dog and a rolling eye, and I hung down her back with my Durham and a falla-riddle-I-oh. How old are you, my pretty fair maid? How old are you, my honey? She answered me quite cheerfully, I am 17 come Sunday, with my Durham and a falla-riddle-I-oh. I said, my dear, will you love me, my honey? She answered me quite cheerfully, I dare not for my mammy with my dear Amada, father-a-little-I-oh. If you come round to a mamma's house when the moon shines bright and clearly, I will come down and let you in, so my mamma shall not hear you with my dear Amada, father-a-little-I-oh. I did go round to a mamma's house just as the moon was dawning. She did come down and let me in, and she laid in her arms till the morning with my dear Amada, father-a-little-I-oh. She said, my dear, will you marry me? It's now your chance nor never. And if you do not marry me, then I'm undone forever with my dear Amada, father-a-little-I-oh. The pipes and drums are my delight as through the woods we ramble. The pipes and drums are my delight, and I'm happy with my soldier, with my dear Amada, father-a-little-I-oh.
Yeah, courtesy of the Folk Revival Project. And we heard farm worker Harry Cox singing 17 Come Sunday.
There you go.
Yeah, it's great to hear. It's nice to hear these things sort of sung in a, earthy, provincial sort of way. It's really beautiful to hear that. Yeah, so look, let's move down the Baroque pop track. I'm open to any suggestions. If anyone's got any Baroque pop faves they can throw into the mix. I'm going to start off with one that's probably known to a lot of people. It's Jethro Tull's Bourrée, which I think is actually one of Bach or Handel's Bourrées. I'll know when I hear it. But we'll start with that and see where we go. But Jethro Tull is still Mr. Ian Anderson, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, he's still going strong and out there making records. And this one was recorded in 1969. Bourrée from the album Stand Up. Hey,
There you go.
isn't that brilliant?
By
Jethro Tull.
JSB.
It's JSB, isn't it? Yes.
It was
is.
I learned to play it.
Yeah.
It was my list B for grade 2.
Was it really? Very
Of course,
good.
played as a Bure,
Yeah.
presto, rather than that.
Not the Jethro Tull Baroque pop version.
That's right. I didn't play that one.
No. But it's the.
But I did like playing it at the time, I
Oh,
remember.
good, Frank. That's lovely. It's
Lovely,
a great, nice
yeah.
personal connection with the tune. It's a beautiful tune. It's
It is a
lovely.
lovely tune,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's. I think it's on one of the suites, maybe one of the English suites or French. I don't know.
Yeah, it is. It's
Yeah.
a little miniature.
Yeah, it is. It's lovely. So yeah, I quite like that treatment. I thought it had a nice vibe to it.
You too, nice and sort of relaxed and
Yes,
swingy, wasn't it?
It was. Kate's really wanting to learn to improvise more on the flute, and she's been listening to Don Burrows. We've been hearing a lot of Don
Well,
Burrows.
she couldn't have a much better
Yeah.
mentor than or
Exactly.
teacher.
And she's got an alto flute, so she's sort of matching him, and she's actually copying some of his solos verbatim
Oh, nice.
as a way to sort of get an entry,
the feel for
get
it.
the feel, and just sort of get the imagination for some of the improvisation.
Better Ian Anderson mightn't hurt either.
Yeah, so I might refer to this. 'cause
Just as another side of things.
yeah. And
Love a bit of Jethro Tull, the
Yeah.
K3OP.
yeah, nice to hear
Frank,
from
how
you.
are you?
Yay.
Good to hear. Yeah, better Jeffro never goes amiss.
Yeah, it's as good. It's great. He's still going strong. Amazing, Mr. A. Yeah, how are you, Frank?
Very well, Stephen and Frank. How are you both?
Yes, very well,
Yeah,
thanks.
yeah.
Frank, indeed.
All's good.
Yeah, under the circs, very well.
Oh yeah, my mob are all off at my kids, three of them, off at the Renfest today, the Renaissance Festival.
Oh,
up at-
yeah, I've heard. I saw some online media clips and stuff. Looks interesting.
Yeah, I think it's the first this time, so they're there and my nephew EO as well. So yeah, it's all good. Yeah, so they're having the time of their lives, and they're all dressed up for it. So I thought I'd just do a bit of a Renaissance pseudo Baroque poppy program today, just in acknowledgement of the the ancient vibe that's been sort of
Very good. That's sort
pervading.
of medieval and
Yeah.
sort of feel. Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
cool.
totally. It's good. If you've got any suggestions, you've got any pieces to add?
For that, not particularly. No, I don't.
Yeah, not,
That they're
that's okay.
The only just as I went and saw last Sunday, so
Yeah.
actually this time last week I was watching a British guitarist called Mike Dawes,
Mike Dawes. Okay.
a fingerstyle acoustic,
Yeah.
incredible player who
Really?
plays both rhythm and lead and all sorts of stuff and percussion on the guitar at once, and
Okay.
he's built his following, leveraging social media, but touring, and he's doing apparently a band, sort of a guitar camp with Tommy Emmanuel this week.
Oh my
as well.
God! How about
And
that?
he has recorded some duet stuff with Tommy, so he's
Sweet.
high caliber. But that was really enjoyable.
It would have been.
And it was a venue I'd never even considered or been to before. It was at Genazzano
Oh, really?
College in Kew, in
really?
their little theaterette.
At their theatre, were they hosting it, or was
Yeah,
it?
well, I don't. Well, they just booked it. Got it as a venue, but it's
Yeah.
a great little venue. So it probably seats about 400 or 500.
Really?
Nicely raked,
Yeah.
acoustically quite good. Like it
Excellent.
they obviously had their own reinforcement in there. These little line arrays. It sounded great. Like it was really good.
Oh, how about that? That's really good to hear. I've just written him down, Mike Dawes, and I will have a listen. I'll sample some of his music. Thank you for that. That's good. It's good to get any sort of appraisal of live events is really nice
Well,
to hear.
there's one song he played off one of his albums, and he called it. And the title of it is Impossible.
Impossible.
And I think he starts off playing 5-time with his fretting hand and 3-time with his strumming hand.
Oh God.
And then alternates through different times with each hand.
Oh my God.
And I was following this and going,
Oh.
how do you do that?
How
This
do
is
you
going to
do?
do my head in. I know.
That is incredible. Well, he's obviously
It'd
got.
be great.
You can decompartmentalize or do something incredible. Yeah, well that sounds. I'd love to sample that. I'm going to play a couple more Baroque pops, and then but I'm definitely got Mike Dawes on the radar, and we'll go have a listen to some of his material in the future. I've got it here, so thank you for that. That's
No problem.
It's excellent. It's really good. Well, I thought sort of just I'm sort of on the vibe here, and another one that comes to my mind is Mike Oldfield's Portsmouth. Remember Mike Oldfield from
Tubular
Tubular Bells
Bells.
fame? Yeah, he put out a track called Portsmouth. I think
He did.
Yeah, it'll be recognisable. Everyone will pick on this. It's a classic. So yeah, we'll hear this, and then there's one other that was very much in my midst, which I'll follow on after this. But let's have a listen to Mike Oldfield and Portsmouth, I should say. Very young, bearded Mike Oldfield back in the day.
Yeah, wow, what year was that?
About 1975 or something. Yeah, and it's got a great video. It's fabulous.
So it's well pre-Tubular Bells.
I think Tubular Bells came out in 73, was it? I don't know.
Okay.
Earlier, actually.
Yeah, I think, it's around that time though. Let's see if we can get a date on it. I'll just be, 76. Yeah, 76. So, and look, it's a great little video track because they've got the camera up in the ceiling, they've got all the Renaissance dancers doing their thing, and he plays every instrument. It's one of these things that cuts across, and he's playing one instrument, then another instrument, and he's playing the timps at one point, and it's fun. It's very floral and very British, and he's so nonchalant. Mike Oldfield, he doesn't have an ounce of expression. He just sort of does it as if he's just sort of having a dream, and then but the music's so natively expressive. It's just fantastic. So
because he was hugely experimental with early synthesizers.
Yeah, he was.
That's very much so.
One thing, there's a fantastic high def version of Tubular Bells made by the BBC, and it's up on YouTube, and it's really good visuals, and
the NSO did it, the version very recently for the public version.
Oh, I'd like to hear that.
Either they've done it or they're going to do it.
Yeah, I've
heard it advertised.
That would be really worth going to. I'd go to it.
They're interesting because they take on having seen all the Star Wars that they've done the soundtracks to, but the other thing they do is the I saw, was it recently they were doing the Harry Potter movies as well?
Yes.
Playing the soundtracks live.
They're really branching out.
They are branching out. They have to. They absolutely have to. I went to a schools concert recently, and they were playing gaming music as well, and it's all has to be done, and it's good. Why not? It's
no, I've got nothing, no reason not to.
No, I wasn't defending. It's just observation.
Well, for us it was good because we've got a really close family friend. Yeah. Their daughter, who's now, I guess, about 8 or 9, is on the spectrum. Yeah. So you've got to be careful with her with input, loud noises.
Yeah, sure. Overstimulating.
But we took her along to a couple of the Star Wars things, and just with a little bit of hearing protection. Yeah. And she absolutely loved it. Yeah. And it was her sort of in to classical music.
Yes, of course.
And she absolutely loved it. And plus, they do the thing, they have all the cosplayers.
Yes.
In the spaces around the auditorium.
Yeah, it's a big visual fest
in costumes
as well.
And all that sort of stuff. So there's all that interaction, and
yeah,
she had an absolute ball.
Yeah,
and I imagine too, for obviously be kids not in the Star Wars, but stuff like Harry Potter, and I guess there's a whole bunch of other movies that with those really great themes. That, a great way to do it. And,
it is.
They do it really well.
It's a powerful experience, being in the auditorium and having all of that extra musical association. And
we recorded
was
it this week? I just finished up the stint that I did with the new eps of Spicks and Specs.
Oh, fabulous.
And one of the guys on the panel was an Australian conductor who's conducted Star Wars with them.
Was it Ben Northey?
No.
Right, okay.
I can go and look up the
No,
name.
it doesn't matter.
But he was great. He's talking about various things and even a couple of the injuries that he's sustained. Oh, that's right. He was once doing the thing Psycho.
Oh, really?
From Psycho live over a film.
Yeah.
He decided for a gag to, use a knife as a proper instead of a baton at one point.
Yeah.
And then accidentally, of course, did something silly at the end of the performance and ended up stabbing himself with it.
Oh my God! Oh, there you go. That's pretty dramatic. I have to say, I conduct quite a few orchestras, and I've made the mistake before of just holding the baton a little bit too lightly, and in a moment of drama, it flicked across the room, and of course it goes right to the back of the second violins, and someone gets a bloody baton in the face.
Whoa!
It's happened. It happened once, and once too many times.
Well, I won't say to it, but there's a clip on one of the shows that gets played, and I assume it'll make it to air about a similar scenario.
Oh, really?
With a wayward baton and interaction with a violin.
Oh my God! Yeah.
And
Yes, it can get quite
with the
violent.
soloist, not good.
Not good, especially with a soloist. My God, that's terrible.
And then there was the Baroque conductor. Who was it? Lully.
Yes.
Stabbed himself in the foot with his baton, got infected, and he died.
He died. And back in those days, they used a wooden staff in rehearsals and to keep beat. And he got a septic toe and died. Poor Lully. He was a big name. Yeah.
Huge. He was the King's, number one
That's
man.
right, a big French composer. Yeah, look, that's great. But I am all for live music, and I think it's fantastic. The younger generation are getting this experience, and I don't mind what the music is. It's all good, and it's just the whole orchestral experience, hearing all those instruments working together in a big venue. It's a voluminous, visceral, magnificent experience.
I keep needing to hear to hear live music every so often to recalibrate my ears.
You've got to do it
so that I know what to how good it can be.
It's so
and how
important.
Close hi-fi trying to approach it.
Yeah, well, hi-fi doesn't even get 1% in the best hi-fi in the world. We'll never even get anywhere close.
There's nothing like hearing an orchestra
live. There's nothing like it. There's nothing like the experience.
And I've been fortunate to see the MSO a lot of times, work with them lots and lots of times, and they are a very good orchestra. They are arguably one of the best in the world.
Yeah.
And versatile. You look at the stuff they've taken on.
Yep.
But I also really enjoyed when we were in Berlin. We went and saw the Berlin Philharmonica.
Yeah.
Playing some Shostakovich.
Yeah.
And some, and it was. That was just, wow, great.
It's out of this world.
It wouldn't get any better than that, Frank.
No.
That's it. And it's just so voluminous. It's such a all-encompassing sound world, and it's three-dimensional, and it's...
Yeah, I still think the biggest one I remember we recorded it. It was the MSO with the Australian choir.
Okay.
Doing Carmina Burana.
Oh, that would have been so powerful.
And it was, I think it was something like 300 choristers.
Yeah.
And the full MSO.
Oh,
and I in the first rehearsal, we're on cans, on headsets, and it was so good. I literally kind of wore my headset half off, so I could still hear the talkback, but I could hear the auditorium live properly.
Yes.
Because it was just so good, I had to hear it.
Yeah.
And the hair on the back of my neck was standing up. It was amazing.
It's incredible.
The sound level in the middle of a full-blown orchestra going full tilt must be kind of a bit over what you should normally... Do they use any sort of protection?
Well, not for the autumn. No, I know orchestra's capable. I think it's 120 dB. Like the full gamut of human hearing, pretty much.
It's like
I can imagine it would be.
It's absolutely incredible. Yeah, at the peak. So it certainly is. Yeah, that would have been so impressionable. Yeah, Carmina Burana is just such a
big piece.
It's so big. It's so yes, indeed. It's so larger than life. And I've performed it many times.
I first heard that at McRob.
Oh, really?
When Kathy was teaching there.
Yeah.
And Faye Dumont invited. She was leading it. Conducting it.
Yes.
And but I thought terrific.
Yeah, it's just amazing. Well, it sort of fits.
We had the boys from Melbourne High.
Yeah, I sang it at Melbourne High. Maybe I was in it.
No, it was a bit.
Probably before my time. Yeah.
In the early 70s.
Yeah, no, I was in the 80s. Carmina Burana.
Burana.
Yeah, that's it, by Carl Orff.
You used to say Carl Orff, would you?
Yes, I always say that.
We always say that.
Yes, Carl Orff. Here we go. Now, I'm not going to watch the Andre Rieu version, but I'll play it. It's just, it's voluminous. It's all encompassing. It's
probably almost fitting with the theme of what you're playing today, isn't it?
Totally.
Because it's used. It is that piece of music that's used around in film and series around medieval type stuff.
What it is, it's based on ancient texts.
Very earthy music.
It is. Well, it's slightly problematic because the texts for Carmina Burana are erotic stories.
Indeed.
And
that's not emphasised.
It's not emphasised, and they sort of sanitise it, and they play certain movements and they expunge other movements, and because the full cantata, it's a cantata. It's basically it's full on. It's like reading a Mills and Boon, but on steroids with a full sort of the gamut of
it is.
Yeah, it's
the Milton Boon of its day.
Yeah, well, but it's not sort of trivial. It's sort of like. Well, it's based on sort of pagan rituals, and
that's it. It's the connection to that.
But there's some really racy movements to do with
musical 50 Shades of Grey.
Well, it is. It is, absolutely it is. Some of the movements are literally that. And they tend to expunge, because my kids were involved with it, and they had the titles up on the words up on the screen above. This is at Hamer Hall. They sang in a choir with the MSO.
Oh, boy.
Performing it. Yeah, 3 of my kids.
How long ago was that?
2 years ago. And yeah, they were in the children's.
That's the one we did. The one we did was got to be at least 25, 30 years ago.
Yeah, sure. No, they do it regularly because it's such a crowd pleaser. But they had the words up there, and you're thinking, what the heck? And it was a bit of an issue because the full cantata, not the O Fortuna, is just sort of that spring is great.
That's a well-known bit.
Yeah, and that's fine. That's nothing. There's nothing racy about that. But some of the other movements are just so out there, and you read it and think this is like pornographic. Basically, it is.
It's certainly.
Yeah, and it's
of the same material.
It is totally.
So does that mean in its day too that it was censored and that there would have been certain parts of the world, places that just wouldn't have considered even playing it?
Certain movements, certain movements were expunged, but in the Third Reich they loved it because it was all about vigor, and sort of Hitler loved the work. It was his favourite piece, and that was and those sort of associations were sort of. They were sort of toned down a little bit, but sort of seen as the vigour of youth and all that sort of thing. But it's a very interesting one. There's 3 cantatas.
He was big into iconography, wasn't he?
Yes, indeed. And a lot of it's quite symbolic, but these days that symbolism is all the more apparent. And look, we did a mission. We did a missions on it a while ago, and I played some of those movements. But look, you go and look it up, folks. It's pretty in your face. It's amazing. Carmina Burana. But they often play the expunged version. They cut out some of those other more racy movements. But amazing.
I think Faye might have done that. I don't know.
Yeah, when they do it with schools, they usually just do.
I think so. They just didn't know what they were seeing anyway.
Yeah, they usually just do about 4 movements from it.
They do the Reader's Digest version.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally. That's what they do. Yeah, it's the case. But look, it's a fabulous work. Pity poor Carl Orff. He wrote this thing, and he became a superstar overnight.
When was it written?
1936, I think.
Okay, so just pre-World War II.
Yeah,
It was a one-hit wonder.
Yeah, exactly. And Hitler just loved it, and it was given that primal position, and suddenly he became the composer of his epoch, and he relished in the fame, of course, and that's the big criticism of him, because he didn't use his position to, there's a lot of controversy about Karl Orff, and what happened was he was very much in his earlier days in league with a number of philosophers and other, sort of artists with progressive views, and then they progressively got picked off, and Karl Orff could have potentially have done more to sort of help them out, but he was fearful. But you got
to take that in context of the times
Yeah.
too, because that fear was based in reality.
Yes,
that was a regime that got rid of people and thought nothing of it.
Absolutely,
it was very. So you particularly if you're within their realm and their grasp, you had to be careful, because if you didn't toe the party line, you were essentially
an enemy of the state.
An endangered species.
Yes, look, I understand.
My parents lived through it, so
yeah, sure.
I
understand.
Kind of hearing the stuff they talked about, and so I think for people, I know it's really easy to judge people from our perspective, but you kind of, unless you lived it.
Yeah, I know.
That's why so many left, of course.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but look, I think you're absolutely right, and I think that there's a context that cannot be understood unless you were there at the time, but he had to go through quite an intensive denazification process, and there's a lot of people called in to sort of help to sort of look at where he stood in the midst of all that.
Yeah.
And
I could see the effect of the programming on my parent, particularly my mother, till the day she died.
Right.
Because she was quite young when it all started.
Yes.
And was one of the kids that got sent away.
Right.
But I could just see in older life, just there were prejudices there, and there were things that she carried with her till the day she died that were part of that process. And
it's interesting.
It just shows how effective it was as a machine, if you like, at doing that to its population.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially the Hitler Youth was. My Scoutmaster was in the Hitler Youth, and it was very pervasive. And I think it's a very sensitive topic. I completely honour what you say and understand the sensitivities. It's not easy. And look, what happened with Karl Orff was, though, the sad thing was, look, he had a nervous breakdown after the war, or effectively did, and then he gave up composing and became a child music. He wrote music for children and he sort of became a simpleton. He started sort of working with music education, and that was his new voice after the war. He gave up his ambitions to be a mainstream composer because I think he felt so bruised.
Killed off his mojo.
Oh, it totally destroyed him. And his daughters say he became just completely like a vacant individual. Like a childlike vacant. He regressed and became... after being the poster boy of the Nazi regime, he became like this innocent child and just wrote children's music and created an education system for kids.
Shows you how much stress he was under.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, he's just regressed.
He regressed
himself to cope.
Yeah, so it's a tragic story on so many levels. I mean, look, I think that he obviously he probably was just felt guilty and felt completely caught in that whole machine. And mainly because of Carmina Burana, that one hit that Hitler said, "This is the music of the new epoch." He said, "O Fortuna is our music."
And so here we think, one-hit wonders are a modern kind of. Here we are, like almost a century ago.
Yeah. But look,
Ravel's Bolero was another.
Yeah.
I heard him. I'm sure I read somewhere that he's quoted as saying he's sorry he wrote that.
Yeah, I think he was. I think it haunted him at the end. And same with Enescu with his Romanian Rhapsodies. He wrote them when he was 18, and then it's all he was known for. But look, it happens. But I think I want to sort of disconnect that discussion with the music, because the music is fantastic, and it is very compelling. It's dynamic, it's emboldening. It draws you into this world.
I don't even think about that from a perspective of someone composing or writing. One thing to write a symphony or a cantata or whatever it is, a big symphonic piece of music.
Yeah.
But to then add that dimension of that massive human voice element with the choral additive.
Yes.
Well, I imagine that must add another dimension of complexity again.
Oh, look, it does. Absolutely it does. It's full on. Yeah, and to put things into perspective, Carmina Burana was the first cantata that goes for an hour, and usually you hear about a third of it. And so that cantata alone goes for an hour, and then there's 2 other cantatas that follow it, which are similar length, but they're never played. They've sort of got lost into obscurity, and it's so this is.
Is the music still around for them though?
Yes, all the music's there, and they are
could
performed.
Be done.
Oh yes, it is performed, but it's not known anything like what Carmina Burana is. So these were ancient poems from the medieval period, early medieval period. They're about 1,000 years old, and they were set to this music, and that was his sort of vision. And it's a triptych of 3 poems with a major cantata for each. And
oh wow!
So this was a huge work. And
has anyone recorded them?
Oh yes. So they're performed. They're performed in sort of like close circles, artistic, the festival stuff, but they're not known. They're not publicly known. And what's happened is it's like El Show Zarathustra, the Strauss.
There's Richard Strauss.
The Richard Strauss tone poem. You hear as the theme to 2001. That first bit sort of defines.
Thus spake Zarathustra.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's the sort of defining aspect of it, but the work is so much longer and so much more complex, but we never hear the rest of it because it's sort of foreshortened and recontextualized. So I mean, it's just the way of things, our commercial imperatives just change and distort what's there. But look, I'm gonna play the opening to Carmina Burana because I love it. I think it's amazing music, and I'm disconnected from its hazy origins, and I want to see it for what it is and just sort of acknowledge it for what it is.
Look, I'm sorry, I've just had the
I'll play this, and then I'll play the Scarborough Fair documentary, which may be just music. So I'll let it just ride, and that'll be it for today. And then we'll be hopefully back next week. I've got the weekends get busier and busier, unfortunately, as I move towards the end of term. But I'll endeavour. I don't think I'm around next Saturday, for instance, but I should be fine for Friday. So we hopefully can catch up then. But both Franks, thank you so much, gentlemen. It's been lovely to catch up and
thank you as usual,
music.
Steve. Yeah, great to hear you on, Frank.
Yeah, great, Frank.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Frank.
Yeah.
Have a pleasant evening and week.
Yeah, thank you, and you.
Yes.
And to the listener.
Yeah, absolutely, to the listener. We thank you.
vk3sl saying 73 to all, as the amateurs say, and going clear.
And thank you so much, Frank, and thank you, Mr. OP, as well. It's been great to catch up. We'll speak more soon. All right, and I've definitely got Mike Dawes on my list to have a listen to. So thank you for that.
I think you'll enjoy.
Yeah,
I will. He's a fine player.
Fantastic. I'm looking forward to that. What's it called? Impossible, the piece. Yeah, that's great. Thank you. All right. Well, let's have a listen to the opening for Carmina Burana, followed by a presentation about Scarborough Fair and its origins. Thanks, folks. Until soon. opening to Carmina Burana, O Fortuna. Now, I will follow on with a program called The True Story of Scarborough Fair. 30 historic recordings and 400 years of history and untold history. Now, I refer people to this on YouTube because what we'll hear now is just the series of musical selections. The dialogue is on the screen, so we can't obviously play that, but I can give you the preamble. It says Scarborough Fair is probably the most widely known English folk song in the modern world, owing to its popularity to the American folk rock duo Simon and Garfunkel. This video aims to trace the history of the famous tune as well as many other variants of its parent ballad, The Elfin Knight, that survived into the era of recorded music. The focus will be on a huge range of historical recordings that exist and the people and places involved. Some parts of the video may move too quickly to absorb the information, but the recordings are probably the most important part. Well, we'll just hear those. The chapters, as outlined here, which you won't sort of see, we've got the introduction, then we've got the famous melody and its immediate source, then we've got number 2, Scotland and the Elfin Knight. The Elfin Knight is the sort of the original version of the song. 3, Scarborough and tracing the famous melody. 4 is Parsley, Sage, Rosemary and Thyme. And 5, anonymous variants. Yes, an anomalous variants. And then finally a summary. But yeah, we'll just hear the music and let that tell the story itself. So thanks again, folks. We've enjoyed your company and we'll be back again next week. Same station, same time. I'm vk3sl. And we'll just get this in check. So we're at the very start.
Oh, tell her to make me Cambridge, save Rosemary and Thyme. If I did needle or seamstress work, then she shall be a true lover.
Rose, rosemary and fine. It is dear you will me use with a neat bony lass. Will you tell her she'll be a true love of mine?
Will you make me a cambric shirt, parsley, sage, rosemary and thyme, without any needle or seamster's work? Then you shall be a true lover of mine.
Scarborough Fair, parsley, sage, rosemary and thyme. Remember me to one who lives there. She once was a true love of mine.
Parsley, sage, rosemary and thyme. Remember me to one who lives there. For once she was a true love of mine. Tell her to make me a cambric shirt.
Are you going to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, rosemary and thyme. Remember me to one that lives there. For once she was a true love of mine. Tell her to make me a cambric shirt, parsley, sage, rosemary and thyme, without any seam or needlework, and then she'll be a true love of mine. Tell her to wash it in.
Will Give me employ for to plough, for to sow, for to reap, for to mow. Be a farmer's boy, ought to be a farmer's boy.
Are ye going to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Remember me to one who lives there, for once he was a true love of mine. Tell him to find him an acre of land, parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme, between the sea foam and the salt sea strand, or never be a true love of mine.
Still have to mark me any Carolines between, as beset, betwixt the South Sea and the dry strand. Blah, 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 wind blah, and the wind blew my bonny lass's plaidy awa. Still have to mark me a fine holland sack, without any stitch of needlework. Blah, 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 wind blah, and the wind blew my bonny lass's plaidy awa. Still have to mark me a bird a stone, but can he sing of his nae bone? Blah, blah, blah.
For there once was a fair maid went to walk. Blow, 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 ye winds blow. Aye, between yon salt sea and yon sea strand, and the dreary winds brought my plaidy awa.
You want to be a cambric sack, blah, blah, till the wind blah, without the ship or needlework, and the wind shall blow me bleedy awa. Trying to be twice our land, blah, blah, till the wind blow, between the South Sea and the sea strand, and the wind has blown me bleedy awa. Harrowed up with the teeth or riders, blah, blah, till the wind blow, back at I Moose Hall, and the wind has blown me bleedy awa. When there's done and finished the work, blah, blah, till the wind blow, come to me to skip the sark, and the wind has blown me bleedy awa.
Tell her to make me a cambric shirt, parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme, without no seam nor a needlework, and then she'll be a true love of mine. Tell her to find me an acre of land, parsley.
Thou must buy me, my lady, a cambric shirt, and every leaf grows many in time, and stitch it without any needlework, oh, and then you shall be a true lover of mine. And thou must wash it in yonder well, and every leaf grows many in time, where never a drop of water fell, oh, and then you shall be a true lover of mine.
Where are you going to Scarborough Fair? Savory, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Remember me to a lass that lives there, she once was a true love of mine. And tell her to make me a cambric shirt, savory sage, rosemary, and thyme, without any seam or needlework, for then she shall be a true love of mine.
As I roved out on one fine summer's morn, nearly rose grown merry and dying, I met with a man whose name it was John. He said he would be a true lover of mine. Oh, first you must get me a cambric shirt, early rose grow merry and dying, without any seam or needlework, and then you will be a true lover of mine. Oh, next you must wash it down yonder well, oh, early rose grow merry and dying, whenever.
Can you make me a cambric shirt? So they say it's Marian time, without needles work nor needler stitch, and then you will be a true lover of mine. Can you wash it in Yanter's well? So they say it's Marian time, that's never sprung water since rain ever fell, and then you will be a true lover of mine. Can you dry it on Yanter's thorn?
Will you make me a cambric shirt? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme, without any needle or seamster's work. Then you shall be a true lover of mine. Will you wash it in yonder's well? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme, where there is no water and rain never fell. Then you shall be a true lover of mine. Will you dry it on yonder's thorn? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme, that's never bloomed blossom since Adam was born. Then you shall be a true lover of mine. Now you've asked me questions 3, parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. If you will answer as many for me, then you shall be a true lover of mine. Can you find an acre of land? Parsley, sage, rosemary.
Go tell her to make me Cambridge, save rosemary and thyme. Without a needle or seamster's work, and she shall be a true lover of mine. Go tell her to wash it all in a dry well, save rosemary and thyme, for water never sprung, nor rain never fell. She shall be a true lover of mine. Go tell her to hang it all on the thorn bush.
As you go up to yonder's town, rosemary and thyme, I send my love and best respect to that young lady, and tell her she is a true lover of mine. Tell her to make me a cambric shirt, rosemary and thyme without a seam or needle's work. She shall be a true lover of mine. Tell her to wash it in yonder's well. Rosemary.
As I was a-walking down by the seashore, every rose grows merry in time. I met there a maiden I'd ne'er seen before, and I said, will you be a true lover of mine? If you are to be a true lover of mine, every rose grows merry in time. You must make me a shirt without needle or twine, and then you will be a true lover of mine. You must wash it in.
Why you ever down at the tri-coloured house where every rose grows merry and fine? It is dear you will meet with a neat bonny lass. Will you tell her she'll be a true love of mine? Or tell her to make me a nice.
Now as you are going down Strawberry Lane, every rose grows merry betimes. It's there you will meet a pretty young man, and tell him that he's a true lover of mine. And tell him to get me a Holland shirt, every rose grows merry betimes, without stitch or seam or needlework, and then he will be a true lover of mine. And tell him to wash it in yon spring well, every rose grows merry betimes.
As you will go down Rosemary Lane, where every rose grows merry and fine, you pick me out the finest girl there, I will make her a true lover of mine. Oh, tell her to get me a cambric shirt, every rose grows merry and fine, to be done without needle or needle's work, and then she will be a true lover of mine. And tell her to wash it in yonder well, every rose grows merry and fine. And when you are done and finished your work, every rose grows merry in time. Then come to me and I'll make your darn shirt, and then I will be a true lover of thine.
When you've done and finished your work, parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme, then come and get your cambric shirt, and you shall be a true lover of mine.
Tell him when he gets this work done, Rosemary and time to come to me for his cambric shirt. He shall be a true lover of mine.
Go tell him when he gets all of this work done, save Rosemary and time. Tell him to come to me for his cambric shirt, and he shall be a true lover of mine.
Now when you have gone and finished your work, so they say it's Marian time, then come to me for your cambric shirt, and then you will be a true lover of mine.
When you want to finish and done, in every rose is smelling and sun, you'll call up and me on your cambric shirt, and then you will be a true lover of mine.
If you go up to town tonight, like flumma-lumma liquor slow me, just hand this note to that young miss, to my teeth, to my ties, to my tins, like flumma-lumma liquor slow me. And tell her to make me a fine shirt, like flumma-lumma liquor slow me, and make it out of an old cotton sheet, to my teeth, to my ties, to my tins, like flumma-lumma liquor slow me. And tell her to sew it with her gold ring, like flumma.
I remember this little bit of a jolly song Mrs. Collins used to sing. She was very jolly, and it was like this. There was a fellow once got a joke on. He says, "Go, tell her to make me a Holland shirt, sew it without a stitch of needlework. Let me toodle me, tell her tell her to wash it in yonder well.
Where are you going? I am going to the fair, Flimmelimely, Castle O'Malley. If you see my girl, tell her I'll be there to my tassel-o, fallassel-o, Flimmelimelassel, Castle O'Malley. Tell her to make me a cambric shirt, Flimmelimely, Castle O'Malley, without one stitch of needlework to my tassel-o, fallassel-o, Flimmelimelassel, Castle.
Say, young man, are you going to the fair? From a lolly, and if you see my true love there, to me hiddle-o, a diddle-o, from a diddle-o, from a lolly. Tell her to make me a cambric shirt, from a lolly, without a stitch of needlework, to me hiddle-o, a diddle-o, from a diddle-o, from a lolly.
Where are you going? We're going to the fair. Fum-a-lum-a-lie, lolly. Tell my true love it will soon there to me, teedle-o, fum-a-lum-a-little-o, fum-a-lum-a-lie, lolly. Tell her to make me a cambric shirt, fum-a-lum-a-lie, lolly. Stitch it all over without any work to me, teedle-o, fum-a-lum-a-little-o, fum-a-lum-a-lie. Just now you're going to playpen, for every girl is marrying time. Remember me there to that same young man, and he shall be a true lover of mine. Tell him to buy an acre of land for every girl who's marrying time, between the salt water and the sea sand, and he shall be a true. I think my grandfather wasn't fishing years and years ago. But he got it down out his time. My mother got it from her father.
This is a song that hasn't got any title, but it's something about an impossibility, I think. Where are you going to, vk3sl? Green grows the Mariantine, and if you see that nice young man, I want him for a true lover of mine. Tell him to plow me 1 acre of ground, green grows the Mariantine, and plant it all over with 1 grain of corn, and he shall be a true lover of mine. Tell him to thrash it 'gainst yonder's barn, green grows the Mariantine.
My father, he gave me an acre of ground, sing ivy, sing ivy. My father, he gave me an acre of ground, sing and a grow whistling ivy. I plowed it with the ram's horn, sing ivy, sing ivy. I plowed it with the ram's horn, sing and a grow whistling ivy. I sowed it with some peppercorn, sing ivy, sing ivy. I sowed it with some peppercorn, sing ivy.
The last midnight today, singing, singing, sing ivy. Before the last midnight to go, a little bit ivy and ivy. I plowed it up the theme of cats, singing, singing, sing ivy. I plowed it up the theme of cats, a little bit ivy and ivy.
My father bought me an acre of land and a bunch of green ivy. I plowed it up with a team of rats, sing 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 ivy. I plowed it up with a team of rats and a bunch of green ivy. I rolled it down with a rolling pin, sing 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 ivy.
Me old grandpa died and left me with 3 acres of land. Sing ovie and sing ivy. Me old grandpa died and left me with 3 acres of land, with a bunch of green holly and ivy. I ploughed it up with 3 rams, I sing ovie and sing ivy. I ploughed it up with 3 rams, I with a bunch of green holly and ivy. I drilled it with 3 peppercorns, sing ovie and sing ivy. I drilled it with 3 peppercorns, with a bunch of green holly and ivy. I reaped it down with my little penknife, sing ovie and sing ivy. I reaped it down with my little penknife, with a bunch of green holly and ivy. I shocked it up in 3 little...
For the winds may blow, you glad they will. I want you to wash it in the well. Blow, blow, blow your window where water never was, no rain never fell. For the winds may blow, you glad they will. I want you to dry it down the pond. Blow, blow, blow your window where...
There was an old woman lived under the hill, blow, blow, blow the wind blow, and if she hadn't gone, she's living there still, the wind blew, blow, my flutter. There was an old woman lived under the hill, blow, blow, blow the wind blow, and if she hadn't gone, she's living there still, the wind blew, blow, my flutter. There was an old woman lived under the hill, blow, blow, blow the wind blow, and if she hadn't gone, she's living there still, the wind blew, blow, my flutter.
Are you going to Scarborough?
Where are you going? I am going to the fair.
Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme.
Remember me there to that same young man, and he shall be a true lover of mine.
True lover of mine, can you find an acre of land? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme, betwixt the salt water and the sea sand. Then you shall be a true lover of mine. Can you plow it with a ram's horn? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme, and sow it and plant it all down in corn. Then you...
Are you going to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Remember me to one that lives there, for once she was a true love of mine. Tell her to make me a cambric shirt, parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme, without any seam or needlework, and then she'll be a true love of mine. Tell her to wash it in yonder dry well, parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme, where water ne'er sprung nor drop of rain fell, and then she'll be a true love of mine. Tell her to dry it on yonder thorn, parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme, which never bore blossom since Adam was born, and then she'll be a true love of mine. Oh, will you find me an acre of land, parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme, between the sea foam and the sea sand, or never be a true lover of mine. Oh, will you plough it with a lamb's horn, parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme, and sow it all over with one peppercorn, or never be a true lover of mine. Oh, will you reap it with a sickle of leather, parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme, and tie it all up with a peacock's feather, or never be a true lover of mine. And when you have done and finished your work, parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme, then come to me for your cambric shirt, and you shall be a true love of mine.
You've been listening to a test transmission from vk3sl.